Hello and welcome back to the Big Show, everybody. So we're back for another episode, and if you happen to pay attention to the thumbnail, you likely noticed that it said the final episode. Yes, it's true. This will be the last Big Show podcast that we make. This will be the finale. I suppose all great things come to an end, and this will be the final curtain call, the last hurrah for the Big Show. Um, and I get it. We've had a lot of fun. Dwayne and I have a lot of fun, but don't worry about it. Everything will be fine. Wipe your tears. You're going to be okay. Because what we're going to do today is we're going to send this ship off in style. Think fireworks, think steak dinners, think Viking funeral finales, all rolled into one legendary standoff, one legendary send-off. And that said, of course, no send-off would be complete without a man who's been so very important to this show, to the Big Show. He's provided his wisdom, he's provided his humor, his wits, and he's recently become a ninja. It looks like.
No, I'm in mourning.
Oh, he's in mourning.
I'm in mourning. This is I'm crying on the inside, and this is attire that you wear when you're in mourning for the death and the loss of the Big Show. So I figured it'd be appropriate that this is what I wear.
I probably should have worn my black suit for the situation. You're right.
Yeah.
But no episode of the Big Show would be full without our great co-host and friend Dewayne Ward. Dewayne, welcome back to the 82nd episode of the Big Show. You've been here since day one.
82. Wow. That's a lot. I'm a little shocked that you didn't ask me like how I could have found a black veil to be in mourning.
I assumed it was Brandy's.
Yeah, it's Brandy's underwear.
You went through Brandy's drawer and took her underwear and put it over. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we expect nothing less.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I don't know how high on the creepiness scale that goes, but I think it's up there.
Hey, it's what I do. You would expect nothing less out of me,
No, we don't. We don't. And we've always appreciated the off the wall, off the cuff humor that you've always had. Over the past couple of years, Dewayne and I have had more fun than a kid let loose in a candy store. We just had a blast doing these podcasts, and this podcast has been a wild ride. It's been an adventure of unforgettable moments and remarkable guests, remarkable people, and a lot of laughs. We had a really good time. We've covered topics that were downright hilarious and others that really made you stop and think. We've answered tough questions. We spoke on difficult subjects.
Yeah.
We walked the line and even upset a few people with our viewpoints.
Oh yeah. I mean, was that toxic advice little short that you had from that one person?
Ernie Fitzgerald?
Yeah, oh yeah. He was the one that did the, your advice is horrible, and it was fun to do that.
Should we play the angry toxic advice for one more time for old times'
sake? One more time. We should definitely do that.
So here's one of our trolls, one of our few trolls that have come along, Ernie Fitzgerald, and we decided to do a little 4-second monologue because he told Dewayne and I don't know, maybe about 8 months ago that our advice was toxic and angry. So This is a shout out to all of our haters. Hold on. Angry, toxic advice. So you guys have been warned. Dewayne and I give out awful advice. So there's your warning. But it's true. We have walked the line and we have upset people. But the truth is, guys, is that we've always been honest. We've always been honest with ourselves. Yeah. We've always been honest with, the content that we put out. And we've always supported our claims with not only real world scenario or real world experience, but also data and facts from multiple sources.
Yeah.
We rarely ever come out and say, hey, here's what it is because I say this is what it is. We will always say, look, from a 40 and 50-year-old something dude, couple dudes, this is what we've seen. And here's the stats from people in college campuses that put together a lot of work and a lot of time to come up with these stats. Here's what they say about it. And this supports the argument. So we've really tried to help you guys off with some really good empirical data over the years. This podcast wasn't just about us, though. It was really always about you guys.
Mm-hmm.
It was always about you guys listening. It was always about building something bigger than ourselves. It was about creating a space for learning and growing and laughing together. And we did that. And not only did we do that, but we also traveled to a couple incredible places. We met some phenomenal people. Yeah. We even shared a few life-changing experiences. We taught you to not try to do this life alone, to surround yourself with better women and better men. Surround yourself with close friends. We showed you how we actually meet up for weekly video game time with the guys, or fly to hang out with each other for the weekend, just like we did a couple weeks ago. We fly to meet up for a hunting trip, or go to Europe and go to London to spread awareness for fathers' rights issues. We've always tried to.
I see London, I see France, I see Brandy's underpants.
Can you show Brandy's underpants live across the world one more time for us, please?
I'll do it really quickly because I'm sure I'm going to get yelled at and hit and everything. I surrender. I surrender. But no, I know she's going to get. I lock the door just to make sure. But no, we've had a lot of good laughs, get a lot of good advice. And a lot of it's really, again, we're 40, 50 something year old folks. And what we did is trying to teach the younger generation. I see a lot of people in their late teens, 20s, 30s, even early 40s that are, getting out there and trying to get into the dating game. And they're figuring out, why can't I find a high quality partner? Why can't, I hold myself a certain way and it's just not working. I keep getting screwed over and stuff. And a lot of the advice is like, well, no, it's not you. It's, the way the system works, or it's the way, society is. And, a person says, hey, I want to get married tomorrow. And, I'm seeing the things that, may be a red flag, and you say, well, 80% of the time, 90% of the time, this is how often this happens, but I know I'm kind of rambling here, but we've done a lot of good. We've got people that would tune in weekly because this is their 1 hour that they can actually turn their brain off, literally at times, and get to hang out with some guys and just have fun and forget about, it's like the Cheers intro commercial, give it everything you got, don't worry about all your worries. We would have that, that Sunday to where these guys and girls can just forget about all the crap they have to deal with throughout the week, tune in, have a laugh or two, and then go about their week.
It's true. And that's really what we've been trying to do, hasn't it? We've been trying to kind of, the whole reason why we kind of put together this show, this podcast, is because the Dad Talk Today channels are filled with a lot of doom and gloom. And I don't mean that to be negative. I just mean that, a lot of the guys that follow this page have come together to share their experiences, whether that be through the divorce machine or whether that be through, losing their kids, losing their house. A lot of guys out there have some pretty compelling stories, and it's one thing to be a part of a support group, which is great. But after a while, hearing nothing but the sky is falling does tend to get to you.
Oh, yeah.
We want to put together a show, to Dewayne's point, that talks about something a little bit different. It's still mostly for men, although, again, our content can derive to both genders. But it's really about, okay, guys, so we've fallen. Now what? What do we do now? How do we pick ourselves up? How do we dust ourselves off? How do we get back in the fight? And so that's why we've talked about dating. We've talked about purpose. children, politics, personal depression, loving each other.
Inappropriate toe massagers.
Yeah. And we've shared
Pedicures.
We've shared some pretty interesting things that probably shouldn't have been shared.
Yeah. Where else could I flash, my wife's panties on a show?
There's not many platforms that will allow that,
Exactly.
So, if you guys ever wanted to see, another grown-ass man's wife's panties, I mean, where are you going to go other than show to find that?
Exactly.
And he had it hanging over his face like he was in mourning,
Yeah. And, it's a toss-up between if they were clean or not. I don't know. I'm good either way.
Well, they're right next to your nose, so I'm sure you know. But, we've grown a lot this past 2 years that we've been doing the show. And I don't mean just as podcasters. I mean, as men, as friends, as a community. We've tackled tough conversations. We've celebrated big wins. We've shared in some pretty epic fails. But through it all, we've kept it real. We've kept it fun. So why the change and what happens from here? Well, for those of you who were with us from day one, you may remember how it all started. I was a guest on Dad Talk Today with Eric and Dewayne a couple years back, telling my story about my childhood and how I searched for my father for many years. And then that went over so well that I was invited back to share some teachings from my time as a men's coach. And we did a really great episode on dating and setting up dating profiles. And it was received so well that after some game planning, the big show was created. It's always been a dream of mine to start a podcast. So as you can imagine, when the opportunity presented itself, I took it. Yeah. And so Dewayne came on as my co-host, and together him and I created something special. We expanded the show topic from just dating to overall men's issues, things like masculinity and dating and fitness, issues and challenges derived around being a father or a mother, and all other things, just being a grown-up, being a man, being a woman. Yeah. And my goal for the show was always to give you guys a break from reading the same old horror stories day after day after day that we see and hear on Dad Talk and other outlets like the news and other stories that you hear that just make you go, man, what am I doing this life for? And we wanted to give you some help on what to do after being beat down from the divorce and from being beat down, like some of you have, from the divorce machine. How do you pick yourself up to get back in the game? How do you find peace and happiness after surviving what most of you would describe as the worst times of your life?
Yeah.
Dewayne and I have really tried to put some wisdom in your brain as we put a smile on your face. We really tried. And I hope that we've done that. I really do. Because I care about you, and I know Dewayne does. Dewayne spends an awful amount of time every week dedicating his time to not only help keep the channel up and keep it going, but being an administrator. I put a lot of time and effort into content for the shows. Dewayne does with stats and statistics and data. I do from experience and writing things down to make sure that we're giving you guys content that's going to help you. We never knew what would turn out from the Big Show podcast. Honestly, I never really had a whole lot of expectation on how long we'd even do it for. We just kind of jumped in, put in the work, and did it. For me, personally, it's been eye-opening. It's been eye-opening how this podcast has affected me. I absolutely love the emails and the comments on social media that I've gotten from people who have been positively touched by what Dewayne and I have done over 2 years. There's a lot of people hurting out there. And to read how we've impacted their lives, well, I mean, it's humbling. And I'm very grateful. I've read stories of guys finding more success with their relationships. I've read stories from guys that have said, look, I finally found a partner to share life with. Stories of men having better outcomes with their children. Stories of men making a decision to not pull the trigger and end it all when they were so very close to doing so. It's humbling, man. But it also hasn't been all good.
Yeah.
I've lost friends because of the show. My show has created arguments in my past relationships. I've been laughed at behind my back. The show has been, I haven't told you guys this, but the show has actually been a deciding factor to me losing a job.
Yeah.
It's been disappointing to see people that you care about turn their back on you because they personally don't like your message. They try to cancel you. You guys know that. And they tried very hard to do that. I've had friendships, relationships, and employments canceled due to my refusal to coddle their feelings and lie to them. Because sometimes when you teach, depending on what you say, people are going to be upset that the advice that you give them hurts. And people are going to be upset that you've hurt their feelings because what you've said to them doesn't make them seem like they're moving in the right direction. Some people get very upset. And they really get upset when you force them to look in the mirror. When you force them to look within, or when they hear that decisions they've made in their past will hinder them from getting what they want in their future.
Yeah.
People don't like to hear that.
No.
The truth is that sometimes
life's a bitter pill. I mean, and these people that live their lives a certain way, and then they want to spread their fairy dust nonsense. And folks like you and I publicly have said, no, you're full of crap. It's not going to work. You're going to end up punching the ASPCA card and getting that free cat. And, this is the way things are going to turn out. And they lost friends. I mean, all kinds of stuff as a result of being public and getting out there, and the arguments that would happen. For me, it hasn't been, with Brandy and I mean, we've been together long enough. She knows how I am. She knows how I do things. So, she was like in perfect agreement. Like, when I would say stuff like repeal the 19th, most people get offended by that. Brandy understands all the information behind it, why I would do it. So I wouldn't have any arguments, but there would be other people. Hey, I watched your show last night, and you're saying that this and this, and no, that's not what I said. And you're believing the nonsense is out there, or it's not that bad. I met a girl and she's cool, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not talking about you. Or I remember the one that was it 75% or 90% of all chicks have a guy on backup.
Yeah.
I caught a lot of flack over that. I had people going, no, that's not true. That's not true. And I'm like, this stuff came out from a study. I mean, that's the data. You do with it what you will.
That study was on married women.
Yeah, married women. Yeah, not even single. Married women. They got someone on the speed dial.
It's one of the things that have always kind of surprised me, to the point that you're making right now, from me doing this show with you, is that in most cases, whenever you and I are talking about a subject, we're just reading off what reports or data that we've uncovered, that we found, and that story that you're talking about was literally a woman. I don't know if she owned the college or whatever, but she did some research and dug into it for quite some time. Maybe she was a psychiatrist or something, I don't know, but she was on a local news channel. And that clip was her being a guest on a news channel, and they were covering that story. And all we did was say, hey,
here's the info.
Have you guys seen this? This is what they're saying out there. And don't kill the messenger is a real thing because they literally want to make our lives hell because of something that we shared that wasn't even from us. These opinions don't necessarily we don't necessarily come out or support all these opinions. Most we do, but not all.
Yeah.
And the fact that people in today's world are so up in their feelings that they will ignore truth, logic, and reason to sacrifice how they feel is just, it's really hard for me to comprehend.
Mind-boggling.
It really is, man.
Yeah.
And no matter what they say or what they do, they don't want to be held accountable for what they've done in the past. They want all indiscretions erased, and a clean slate made for them for their future. And the truth is that sometimes when you ring that bell, it can't be unrung.
Oh, yeah.
So out of anger for Dewayne and I, they make up stories. They trash my character. They try to convince me that I'm hurting people.
You hurt my feelings.
I've had people tell me that I, because of the podcast, am hurting people.
Yeah.
Or that I'm not helping people with the show.
Yeah.
The show hurts people. And my message is mean. And I'm like, but I have people constantly tell me the exact opposite. And in addition to that, point to me to anything that Dewayne or I have said that would constitute hurting someone. It's just crazy. And at the end of the day, really all it comes down to is that what was said hit really close to home for them. And
oh yeah. You got a 304 saying that my past doesn't mean what my future is and all this other nonsense. It's like, no, it doesn't. And I can't remember if you or I used the example. I mean, it's out there, but do you want to buy a brand new car or a jalopy that's been ran through the mill for hundreds of thousands of miles? Oh, you're just comparing me to a car. Well, guys do. And that hurts people's feelings, but it's, the joke that I always use is you can call me rude. You can't call me wrong.
Yeah. And sometimes analogies work to help people understand the meanings.
Yeah. If they're too dumb to figure out the logic and the facts of it, a good analogy will hit it home like nothing else will. And that pisses them off even more.
I'm curious, what about people that are listening right now? What about you guys? Have you guys ever entered into a conversation with someone where you said something that was honest and it upset the other person so much to where it damaged your relationship with them? Have you ever experienced that? And what about times where you wanted to say something, but you chose not to say something because you knew that even though it was honest and it wasn't rude, what you were going to say, but it was honest. And because of that, you chose to stay silent and allow them to continue living in their delusion.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was worth not getting into a disagreement or argument, or maybe you tried to save your career or show face between a group of friends. Have you guys ever been in that situation? And if so, put it in the comments section. I will say that for me personally, having people that you love tell you that they're disappointed in you and that your show has hurt people, it hurts. But what it does do is it does show you who really is there for you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Man, I've said this. Dewayne has said this. And we're going to say it again. Never be with a woman who doesn't support you. If her support is conditional, let her go, because she's only going to manipulate you. And here's how. Yeah. That kind of person, that kind of woman or man, if they only show you support when it fits what she wants or what she wants from you, that's manipulation. And the same goes for your friends, your coworkers. So as you see, it's been a roller coaster of ups and downs for the show, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. All that said, it's now closing in on our second year. And I'm really proud of what we've done. I'm proud of how consistent Dewayne and I have been, even when life has been crazy for him and myself. I'm proud of the lives that we've touched. And even though the show may be coming to an end, it doesn't mean that you won't be seeing Dewayne or myself any
Oh
longer.
yeah.
We plan on being a part of the future of endeavors of Dad Talk Today. So you'll likely see us again. And today isn't just about closing a chapter. It's about celebrating everything this show has stood for: strength, wisdom, laughter, leaving a legacy that matters. So here's the game plan for today's show. We're going to dive into the lessons. The lessons, the laughs, some of the unforgettable moments that we made, some of the unforgettable moments that's made this whole ride worthwhile. I don't have the usual clear-cut game plan of a specific topic like we normally do. Today, what I figured is that we'd just cover some of the most important life lessons Dewayne and I have covered over the last 2 years and kind of leave you with our most important nuggets of wisdom. Over the years, Dewayne and I have covered everything from why men need to learn the art of grilling to the unspoken rules of gym etiquette. We tackled big questions like how to deal with your kids' questionable TikTok dances and whether it's okay to wear Crocs in public.
Yeah.
Not ever.
Answer is no.
But today we're going to distill all the wisdom and the raw masculine energy from this show into one epic highlight reel. We're going to share a few lessons to carry with you. And so what I figured we'd do is we'll cut the show into two main segments. Segment one, what we're going to do is we're going to go over some of the things that we need to do as men to make ourselves the best kind and quality of man that we can. Because if there's one thing this show has hammered home, it's that real men own their actions.
Yes.
Whether it's your relationship or your job or your fantasy football draft. Accountability is the cornerstone of strength. We've all had moments where we've dropped the ball, kind of like Dewayne did last week when he tried convincing thousands of people that he should keep his man card.
Oh, I convinced.
After allowing a male masseuse to aggressively masturbate both of his big toes in a massage session.
It was...
That happened.
I believe I convinced them.
Dewayne knew what was going to happen to that second toe. But you see, folks, he still allowed it to happen.
I allowed it. You personally went. You agreed and went to the location, knowing full well what was going to happen.
Allowed it to happen anyhow, folks. You see, inaction is still inaction.
Not near as bad as setting up the appointment and going there.
Ignore him. Dewayne, picture Dewayne lying there on the massage table, allowing this disgusting act of pleasure to happen, and then tell us that we are wrong. We are wrong for pulling his man card. Utter lack of accountability.
The man card was not pulled. There were certain votes that were invalidated based on who they were.
You lost the vote last week, my friend.
No. The deciding
if you guys
vote.
Are confused on what we're talking about,
No.
and you want to hear the entire story, be sure to watch episode 81 from last week. You'll know exactly what we're talking about. But we'll let Dewayne finish up his awful point.
No, again, I had no knowledge of that event that was going to occur. I was in sheer shock. It was just, I had nothing. You, however, let me just emphasize this. You set the appointment, went with Joy, and physically got a pedicure done. Probably paid extra for the glossy fit or whatever the hell they call it. So yeah, I mean, again, it's safe to say who should lose their man card. That's it's a no. I got nothing else on that one. You definitely lost your man card. It's all good.
Dewayne, Dwayne usually goes there and has a female take care of his massages, but he saw Rico.
Rico Suave.
He saw Rico working that day, and it was like, "Hey, is he
Rico
available?"
available. Yeah. No.
And she's like, "Well, Dwayne, I'm the one that always does your massages." He says, "Listen, I know that, but
That's
I didn't know that Rico had gotten employment here. Would you mind if
no. That is not how it went down.
24-year-old Rico
That
takes
is
over this madness today?" And so Rico was working. Apparently, Rico has a foot fetish, and Dwayne just let it happen. So
I went to my safe space in the corner. Just yeah. No. Again, mine was you know, I didn't know it was happening. I was just in shock. Yours was the willful knowledge of that happening. So, and hopefully that's not the wisdom you wish to bestow upon all of our guests today.
even Robert Garza is disappointed in you, Dwayne. Even Robert is disappointed in
I
you.
think I told him about the event in all of its glory detail. So yeah, yeah, one of those. It's all good. So, I mean, if you had advice to give to the younger generation, what would be the big, um, what would be the big thing that if you had 30 seconds or a minute to talk to either your younger self or to a random person, male or female, about what to do in their life, what would that be?
Gosh, if I only had like a 30 seconds to share with them, I don't know what I would say if I only had 30 seconds. There's so much to cover, but if I
Or a
only
minute.
had 30 seconds to share with a young man to let him know, to give him the best advice I can possibly be, man, this is gonna come out harsh. And sometimes whenever you're pressed on time and you have to condense a whole lot of stuff into a small time period, it misses a lot of empathy and sympathy that comes along with the fact, right?
Right. Yeah.
You know, but for sake of argument and answering this question, I would tell him to completely ignore all lessons that he has been taught on how to treat women by other women. And it's going to sound harsh, like it has so many times, but I would tell him that anytime women try to convince you to be the nice guy, to open up your feelings, to share your most intimate moments, they don't women don't really understand that it hits differently than it does whenever their female counterparts share that exact same information. But when their man shares information, it hits differently, and she sees him in a different light. There's an old saying that nice guys finish last, and that old saying is there for a reason. Now, I'm not suggesting that you go out and treat women like shit. That's not what I'm saying. Again,
Right.
I only have 30 seconds. What I would say to him is don't necessarily listen to what women say. Pay more attention to how they react. At the end of the day, women will look to you as their provider, their leader, their rock. They will look to you as the man that is stoic in the face of an emotional hurricane when shit's falling apart all around, and you are there, calm, cool, and collected. And you are her emotional piece when she can't control it. That's what she's going to want from you. If you take the advice of opening up and sharing your feelings, then you're going to do that very thing in the midst of chaos. And I will tell you, you're going to lose your woman if she doesn't believe that you can be the rock through that storm. Now, I'm not saying, women have to give bad advice and all these things. I'm saying that what I would really, really, young man, what I would really think, this is what I say you should do. You should listen and take advice from the fisherman and not from the fish. You find yourself a dude who's 40, 50 years old, who has a history of being around spaces and relationships, and you listen to your father, you listen to your uncle, you listen to your older friends. because especially for the younger generation growing up in their 20s right now, man, you guys are going to have a hard time. Hard time. And the last piece of advice before that 30-second timer ticked down is I would say that get very interested in her past, because her past is the best indicator of her future. I've always said that a man is very, very focused on a woman's past, like a woman is very, very focused on a man's future. So that would be the bit of advice that I would give a young man if I had 1 minute to really cram that down his throat. And, there's not always going to be people who will agree. And that's fine. That's fine. But
Yeah.
My advice is that you don't listen to women on that. Renee believes what she says. And Renee is she's a smart person. I'm not taking anything away from her. She believes wholeheartedly, but it's just not true. It's just not. In most cases, it's just not true. And if you were to ask any man who has been through multiple relationships what their experience was, ask those men, have you ever opened up to a woman, cried in front of her, or shared some deep stuff? Ask them, did it ever come back to bite you? Did it ever come back to haunt you? Were you able to continue that relationship long term? Were you able to maintain frame? Could you make that relationship last whenever her shoulder had to be the strong one for you to cry on one time? Ask them. And I'm not saying in all cases 100% that it won't work out, but what I'm saying is that 90% of the time it won't. You can take that chance if you want, guys, but that's coming from a man right now who has not only lived through it himself, but I have spoken to hundreds, maybe 4 digits worth of men over the years. Guys, telling you what, I'm going to teach you guys a few tips today on female behavior. Part of the show, the second half of the show, is going to be me helping guys understand what they should be looking for whenever they have built themselves up. And once they're ready to look for that woman of their dreams, that partner, that long-term LTR, what they should be looking for in women. I'm going to share that in the second half of the show. Right now, this half of the show, we're talking about how and what you should do as a man to be the best quality of man that you can, because the truth is that most of you men out there want yourself a good woman, and you should want. Picking your woman is going to be the most important decision that you'll ever make. And let me tell you something, and Dewayne will speak from experience. You pick wrong, your life will be hell.
Yeah.
You pick right, and you're going to have a great, great life. A great life. There's nothing that you will ever do that will be more important than picking the right partner. So how can you find a woman that matches the kind of quality that you need for that long-term success? Well, you've got to be what she wants, because those kind of women are rare. They're not in abundance like they were 100 years ago. They are becoming increasingly rare. And the ones who are wife material are probably already wives right now.
Yeah.
But not all relationships work. And just because it didn't work out doesn't mean she wasn't ready. And sometimes some really good women pick some wrong guys, and they're out there on the single market again. And you can find yourself a great, great woman, even though you might be 40 or 50 or 60 years old. The chances of it get slimmer as you age, but it's still possible. But in order for you to find her, and more importantly, attract her and keep her, you're going to have to put the work in, my friend. So lesson 1, we've already covered. And lesson 1 was basically, you've got to be a person who takes accountability for himself. The second thing that you got to do is you got to understand, and most of you do, that there is strength in provision. And here's what I mean. Providing isn't just about bringing home the bacon. Although, let's be honest, baking is a good start. It's about showing up for the people that you love. Whether it's your friends or your family or even your clueless coworker who can't figure out Excel, Being a provider means that you're the guy that they can count on. You have to be the guy that others can count on. It's not glamorous, but it's honorable. And honor, my friends, is what separates the men from the boys. So many of you, however, it's not that you don't understand the concept of providing. It's that so many of you are providing for people who aren't worth your provision. You're helping others who won't give anything in return except headaches. So the key is to provide to those people who are deserving. Don't be a floor mat. Don't be an ATM machine. I don't care how pretty she is. I don't care if she rocks your world in the bedroom. Being pretty is not an excuse for not pulling your weight as a woman. If she isn't supportive of you emotionally, if she questions your every decision, if she's combative, unsupportive of your likes, unsupportive of your friends, your dreams, then move on from her. Some of you guys are financially supporting women who still want to control your decisions and life while she is expecting you to support her financially. Sex isn't enough, fellas. It's not enough to keep relationships going long term. I promise you, you can try it. Give it a shot. It ain't going to work. And in today's world where women aren't stay-at-home mothers like they used to be, and instead they're more independent than they ever have been, they openly tell you how they don't need you, and they even brag about it. Then why are you paying more than 50-50 if she's an independent woman? Either she gives you peace or you give her the peace sign. The third lesson I would say is, and this is one that a lot of guys struggle with, is humor is armor. Life's going to throw you curveballs. Some of you hit them out of the park, good for you. And some of those curveballs are going to clock you square in the jaw. And the best way to deal with the latter is a good laugh.
Yeah,
humor isn't entertainment, man. It is survival sometimes.
Oh yeah, that's what I bring to the table. I mean, after I've had some things happen. Lost my job about a month ago. By the way, I'm reemployed and already working again. But just having that laughter and having that partner with you to laugh along with you, and not start the clock up to leave you and be that support structure. I mean, I gotta say, Brandy's a unicorn. They broke the mold with her. Well, I'll let you know if it's for good or for bad. But having humor, that's it. Being able to laugh at life's things that happen is so important. I mean, and I've noticed that transformation in myself over the years. I mean, 10, 15 years ago, when I've lost my job 10 or 15 years ago, I was freaked out and all that. Now having the right person by my side and laughing about it, it was, I mean, you were there for, we met up during part of that time, laughing about it and having fun with it. And, life happens. You just got to roll with it and make it happen.
And it's tough. It's tough to find a silver lining in things sometimes,
Oh yeah.
But humor is one thing that Dewayne does effortlessly. He has a great, we love him for how, easygoing and funny he is. But it's a stress relief. It's that pressure valve that allows at least a little bit of pressure of life's craziness to just release a little bit.
Oh yeah.
It's the duct tape of a life holding everything together when it feels like everything is falling apart, whether it's laughing at yourself or laughing at the absurdity of a bad situation. Humor can keep you grounded. So let me ask you guys something. When's the last time you laughed? When's the last time you laughed?
Hopefully it was last Sunday.
Belly laugh. What's that?
Hopefully it was last Sunday when they were listening to what happened, both of our things. Hopefully hopefully I gave everybody a good laugh or two on that one.
Oh yeah. yeah, that was a funny one. You guys should check it out. But for some guys out there, it's been way too far too long since the last time they've laughed about anything.
Well, I wasn't always like that. I mean, I've shared stuff with you guys. In my first marriage, I mean, I used to get up and I would have what's called a Blue Bowl day. And for those that hadn't watched previous episodes, I'm like, what the hell is Blue Bowl? I would go into the office, and if the toilet water was blue, I was going to have an okay day. That's how sucky my life was at that point in my first marriage. And, I mean, again, being able to laugh and all that, part of it's internal, but part of it's having the right person by your side. That is, I have to admit, that is a lot of it, is having someone that I can laugh with. And I mean, we've talked many times about, every day I bring something new, starting in the shower and then, going on. But, having that laughter, and a lot of it's just having the right partner with you that supports you, that, is going to be there for you as you go through life's crap.
Yeah.
I mean, they celebrate the good and the bad with you. They're not, she's not critical of me. She doesn't, she's easy to get along with. There's not those issues. And I see so many girls, as we're talking about, the guy girl thing, I see so many girls out there today that are on purpose being troublesome. They create drama. They're argumentative. They want to argue over every little thing. If you say the sky is blue, that was my first wife. She would argue with me about the sky being blue. She would say, well, no, it's actually, green or purple. And, she was looking for ways to argue.
Yeah, very combative.
And that's when I'm guessing, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, when you talk about a woman being combative or being argumentative, that's what you're talking about. Because if you have a partner, you can sit down and you're valuing her position on things, because, guys generally come from a more logical position. Women come from more an emotional one. And you'll find those broads that'll argue with you on that. That tells you right there the peace sign. That's where you need to give them a peace sign immediately. But when you sit down, you have this issue, you then talk to her and she comes at it from a different perspective if she's mature enough. And I say that about the quality of woman, not just because she's a woman. I mean, I've went to Brandy on a number of things, and she is a mature enough woman that she will say, hey, what have you thought about this? What about that? And then we negotiate together and figure out whatever it is. We make a decision and move on.
100%. And that's how it should be.
And
that was well said.
Yeah.
Well,
but you got some broad sitting here arguing with you over every little thing, or, well, I disagree with what you say because I've taken what you said and put it into some impossible scenario to make you look bad, which is like what my first ex-wife did. And then want to argue with you about, you need to, deep six that immediately.
A lot of guys out there who are with these very compatible women, all they really want from her is to be treated with the same respect as she treats her boss. I mean, think about some of these women who are loudmouth and combative with you as you're trying to make decisions or, move the family forward. They will go to work, they'll put on their outfit. And these women in today's world, I mean, they're all over the workforce, right? They're entry-level jobs, they're middle management, they're upper management. There's women in C-level positions. They're all intertwined with the work life. And these women will go into closed door meetings with their boss, and their boss will say, we're going to move in this direction. And these women will think, well, that's not quite the best idea. And they won't come out in the middle of a meeting and start just telling him how dumb he is and how stupid he is. They won't come out and tell their boss how absurd that idea was and argue with him. They will give advice and share their ideas in a very respectful, professional way. So a lot of guys, but then she'll go home and completely talk to her man absolutely different and shows complete disrespect to him. Yeah. But the guy that's writing her paycheck, she'll show respect, but not the man who would protect her life. And the funny thing about it is, a guy at work, if she didn't show up for work that day, he would fire her and have her replaced like that. The guy at home will never leave her, no matter what she says or does in some situations.
Yeah.
So some guys in some relationships just simply want the same level of respect that some women would give her boss. And, look, when it comes to like trying to find humor in things, I know it's really hard for some guys to do, because a lot of you guys out there are creepy. I'm not creepy, but just depressed. Sorry, not creepy.
Just creepy. Is that a shot at me?
Creepy.
Another shot at me. Okay.
So that's a little creepy. What I meant to say was, some of you guys are a little depressed, and I get it. I understand. I'm the same way. No heat, no judgment. It's hard to smile and laugh at times. Again, I understand. No heat, no judgment. But here's a reality that I have to learn, and that some of you have to learn. Life isn't going to stop kicking you in the balls. It happens to the best of us. We are all fighting some demons. Some of us are just better at hiding it than others. Your life isn't as bad as you think it is. And before you take my head off, hear me out. I'm not saying that your life isn't bad.
Right.
I'm saying that it could have been so much worse.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that you need to get better at laughing it off and keeping your head in the game. You guys can do it. That's what I'm saying. The fourth lesson that I would teach you guys from the 2 years of podcast that Dewayne and I have done, and we've covered this one along a lot, is your health is your wealth.
Oh my God.
You can't conquer the world. You cannot expect to wake up and conquer all these things you have to running on donuts and energy drinks. One of the most important things we've discussed over the past couple of years is how taking care of your mind and your body is crucial. And it doesn't mean that you have to have a six-pack, although kudos if you have one. It means taking steps to stay active, eating right, and getting in your mental game, making sure those things are in check. Studies show that men who engage in regular physical activities are 30% less likely to develop heart disease. And how many men out there in your family, your father, your uncle, your grandfathers, your friends, how many of the men out there do you know that has had issues with heart disease? We all know someone. So don't just survive. I want you guys to actually thrive. We can't say this is enough. Take care of yourself any more than Dewayne has been saying it. Physical strength supports mental resilience. Hit the gym, guys. Take the stairs. Put down the fried donuts. And if you missed the episode on meal prepping and exercise, here's a takeaway. Preparation beats temptation. You have to get out in front of it. You have to have a game plan. You have to prep. If you don't meal prep, you're going to go out to lunch during the work break. If you didn't bring anything, any food to work, you're going to grab Jimmy John's, you're going to grab McDonald's, you're going to grab something, because not eating is that ain't good either. And let me give you guys another stat, since Dwayne and I love them so much. People who regularly exercise are 50% less likely to experience depression.
Yeah.
If you're a guy who thinks that life has been too tough, if you're a guy who doesn't know if he's going to last another week, then I would say, if I could only give you one bit of advice, I would say if you get your ass in the gym and get healthier, it's really tough to be depressed walking out of a gym after a good 45-minute workout. It's hard to be depressed. And shit, for some of you guys who never leave the house, sometimes that's me also. It's good to get a little bit of sunshine and go and be around different people, and open up your relationships with people in the gym. You'll start seeing the same people, and you'll start to know their names and stuff. Nothing bad comes out of that, guys. I'm done. I'll let that one go. But damn it, I put it at number 4 for a reason. Number 5. And this is one that Dewayne has been teaching a lot, myself has been teaching a lot, is you have to build a brotherhood. We've talked about the importance of having a circle of trustworthy guys. Life is a battlefield, and no man should go at that battlefield and through that battlefield alone. Men who have strong social connections live longer. They are less likely to experience depression. So, how many times have we said this? Pick up the phone, guys. Grab a beer with a buddy. Make those connections count. Brotherhood isn't about having someone to share laughs with. It's also about having someone to hold you accountable, lift you up, call
Sounding
you
board
whenever you need it.
Yeah, having a soundboard. I mean, you've texted Eric and I, hey, blah blah blah, thinking about this. I've done the same. Eric's done the same. Having a group of guys, people that you trust, they have good morals, good integrity. You can bounce ideas off of, and then use that. Yeah, that's invaluable. And yeah, getting out there, getting involved with people, it's important. Six-pack keg is always better.
Yeah.
That was my joke. That was back when I was 270 pounds.
Mike's like, why have a six pack when you can have a keg?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's another thing too. About the health thing. I mean, again, we on the show, my journey from being a big guy to a smaller guy, happened. Over the last year, I've lost 70 some odd pounds, and it helps me get up the next day. I've reduced a number of the meds I'm on. I say a number. I'm on linezolid, blood pressure medication. And I was on a CPAP machine for a while, if you can believe that. It sounded like Darth Vader. I'm off of those things now. I'm feeling better. And yeah, it's had a tremendous impact on my overall well-being. And yeah, enough can't be said about getting out there and getting some kind of exercise, getting somewhat healthy.
And we have dedicated shows to talking about fitness. So you guys go back through the old episodes and you'll find it. Number 6 is one that's extremely important. You can't really have a good stab at life without getting this one right. And that is your financial fortitude.
Ooh.
We've had some hard talks about money.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes recently, yeah.
Because let's face it, financial stability is a part of being that rock that your family needs. And that could what?
I just want to jump into that one. So again, we've always been very transparent. I'm very transparent. About a month ago, I lost my job. It was a corporate whatever thing, and that was again the first time in a long time that I have. I mean, I think everyone can. I mean, I can put my wife on. I can put whoever on, and they'll tell you I really didn't give a crap. I wasn't freaking out, and that's because I had my finances in order for the first time in a long time. And I know a lot of folks that are out there, they're going through a divorce. I've been there. I mean, I just opened up to my youngest son, who's 18. He's an adult now. I never tell it to him when he was younger, but there was a day I remember the day before payday, I had $3 in my bank account. All my bills were paid. There was no issues there, thankfully, because of but freaking out about finances. And when you've got money in the bank and you've positioned yourself in such a way to where you can weather that storm, you're in a much different headspace. You're not freaking out. You're like, hey, I can do this. And of course, having the right person with you and all those other things helped out a lot. But, me knowing that, the electricity wasn't going to be turned off, this month, next month or whatever, was a very, peaceful thing. Having those finances are important. And I know we're going to get the argumentative, and this goes back to the thing that I was saying earlier, well, we can't do, you know what? You change your lifestyle to make that happen. I hear people moan and bitch all the time about how they can't make it as they're drinking their lattes, as they're getting into their brand new cars, as they're driving up to their overly expensive house, or doing this. And I understand we have people that are paying child support. I've been there. I've done those things. You have to adjust your lifestyle to deal with reality, and you can't go out and do things. And I'm nobody special, but I've made I've had to say no to a lot of things in order to get to where I'm at today. I'd love to be able to get all these wonderful little doodads and trinkets and go on all these trips and all that stuff. I say no because I have to get that financial future. I have to look at that as the leader of the house. And people take whatever you want to away from it. My 2 cents here is you need to adjust your lifestyle to match your reality and get in there and save your money, because when calamity hits you, you're going to need to have that there. And if you're living, paycheck to paycheck, or even worse than paycheck to paycheck, bump in the road is going to screw you over. And people just need to, that is one of the things I harp on all the time, is get your finances in order. I don't know how else to say that.
Did you know that nearly 60% of Americans can't cover a $1,000 emergency bill?
That's an old study. It's 70% now. Unless we're talking about two different, but there are so many people that, if they lost their job today, by next week they would be homeless essentially. I mean, they would be behind on their bills. They couldn't cover and they'll all whine and bitch. And I'm thinking of a few people right now that are in my mind bitching at me about the statement, but they refuse to make the necessary changes in order to take control of their financial future. Everybody can do it. I can do it. You can do it. And it's not because I make all kinds of money or there's something special about me. It's just I need to live within my means. And so many people don't do that.
It's really no different than raising good kids, having good health. It's going to take consistency. It's going to take a plan. Yeah. And so you have to work out a way that you can save and make your money work for you. Money isn't everything, but financial freedom is. So control your money or your money will control you. The seventh lesson that I want to help you guys remember is that legacy matters. So let's talk about legacy a little bit. And what I mean is, what do you want to leave behind? Yeah. Whether it's teaching your kids how to be an honorable man or a great woman, teaching or creating something meaningful in your community, whatever it is that you want, legacy is more than just material things. It's about the impact that you have on others. Think about this. What will people say when you're gone?
Depends who you talk to. Huh? Depends who you talk to.
Yeah, fair enough. Right. You're never going to be happy if you're not growing something, building something. And trust me, I've been there. I've been there more than I'd like to admit. I have been in spots in my life where I haven't been proud of the man that I've been. I've been a hypocrite where I've told all of you to do these things and me, myself, are not doing them. I admit it. I admit it. I have had a run over the last couple of years as this podcast has gone. Dewayne knows a lot about the ups and downs and the fragility of my life, how it's been. And I do the best I can to stay positive and keep pushing. I understand what you guys are going through. I understand that most men want to leave some sort of legacy. How do you do that though? I mean, well, do you have kids? If you do, great. Build them into outstanding adults. Mm-hmm. That could be a great way of you leaving your legacy. A lot of people leave their legacy that very way. For the rest of us without kids, we're going to have to find something else to build. Careers, our bodies, our mental health, our spiritual relationship, a business, a hobby, something. Build something. Master your craft, guys. Build your talents. I don't give a shit if it's perfecting the perfect steak, fixing a leaky faucet, crushing it at work. Be the best at what you do, because excellence isn't just a goal, it's a mindset. And nothing earns respect like a man who knows his shit.
Yeah.
The eighth thing, and this is a lesson that Dewayne has taught multiple times over the last few years, and that is keep your word. Integrity is non-negotiable. If you say that you're going to do something, then do it. It's really as simple as that.
Yeah.
Your reputation is your legacy. So that means that you guys need to protect that legacy like it's your most valuable possession.
Yeah.
Because integrity is one of your greatest assets. If your word doesn't mean anything, then neither do you.
Yeah. That's the lesson I've been teaching my oldest. Actually, he and I had that conversation last evening. And, he was asking me different things. And I was like, your word is your bond. I mean, your word, how you handle yourself. You don't go in there and tell everybody you're honest. You don't tell everybody you have integrity. You show them, it's actions, not words. And, I'll do a little bit of bragging, I guess. But I was like, I've been gone from my last job for about a month. I'm still getting texts from my past coworkers going, oh my God, Dewayne, we miss you so much, and the way you handled this and how you did your job, and, the what you brought to the table and how you made everybody laugh and your dumb dad jokes. I mean, every little quirk about me, but there was always honesty. And there was always integrity in how I did stuff. And, I'm not trying to brag now, but, I always go, look, if you tell the truth and you don't lie, you don't have to remember stuff. I'm getting so old that I can't remember what actually happened, let alone the version of it that makes me look good. So I just this, tell the truth. I mean, and I go a lot in my professional world, especially where I just take the blame for something. I know it's probably not the best thing for a number of people, but I just do it to, get people moving along. And I'm tired of finding out who did what. I don't care. I want to get the problem fixed. But having your words, if you say you're going to do something, you do it. And if you can't, I mean, life happens. You show up, you don't lie about it. You don't, try to find some way to avoid, but I mean, that you're not a man. I would say you're not a human being, but if you're lying about crap, if you're, trying to play some drama nonsense, and I don't get it. I don't understand. I mean, one, I've had to deal with it, so I have that personal part, but I don't understand how people can do that, how they can lie and, make claims and say false things. I don't get it.
Some people lie so much to where it's just like,
Second nature. Yeah.
nature to them, And, I think that most people understand that if you say you're going to do something and you do it, that's honorable, that goes towards building trust, that goes towards your legacy. I think we all can understand that concept.
Yeah.
Here's where I think a lot of guys, or let's just say people in general, here's where I think they kind of go wrong. What if you've got to say something, but you don't want to do it? That's where I think a lot of people go wrong. You have to make a decision, but the decision that you are going to make is not going to favor what they want from you.
Right.
They need you to come through for them. They need you to say something. They need you to go somewhere. They need you to do something, but you either don't want to or cannot do it. That's where a lot of you guys go wrong. So what do? Here's what you do. You tell them that you can't do it.
Right.
If you say you're going to do something, then do it. But if you say you're not going to do something, then don't do that either.
Right.
Some guys, and I'll speak mostly to the men here because mostly a men's show, but this definitely goes both ways on both genders. Some guys have a really tough time telling people no. Gentlemen, I promise you that you will be respected if you can say no also.
Right.
Okay. And your woman, although she might give you pushback because she doesn't necessarily want to hear the word no, she will respect you if you tell her, no, we're not doing this. No, we can't buy this. No, we're not going this place. You set your boundaries and you lead. So say what you're going to do what you say, even if that answer is no.
Right.
I remember there was a guy who was a friend of mine, speaking of this lesson, and he had said that he was going to, what did he say? He told me that he made a simple promise to his son how, it was that he was going to teach his son how to fish. And he said, hey, whenever you, get a little older, I promise I'm going to teach you how to fish. And he came through on that promise and he taught his kid how to fish. And when we talked about it, him and I, he had said that promise that he kept turned into a lifelong bond between him and his son because he just kind of kept that,
Yeah.
The ninth thing I want you guys to understand, the ninth thing that I need you guys to realize, and we're almost done because there's 10. I put together 10 for you, is I want you guys to get to a point in your life where you're able to give back to the people who have given you so much.
Yeah.
Real men lift others up, whether it's mentoring a young guy at work, whether it's volunteering in your community, or whether it's just being there for a friend whenever that friend needs you. Make helping others a priority in your life. I promise you that there's no better feeling than helping someone else.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I don't know if you guys have checked. Did you check the Powerball? Did you see what the Powerball is today?
No.
Apparently, there wasn't a winner, but the Powerball is at like $877 million. It's over $750 million right now. And so every once in a while, I'll get into conversations with people about the lottery. I don't play the lottery, but it's fun to talk about what you would do if you won the lottery.
Yeah.
I've given this a lot of thought. And you want to know what conclusion I come to every time I think about being a multi-millionaire is I would spend my entire life giving it away. That's honestly what I would do. Yes, I would buy cars, and yes, I would buy a nice house with a swimming pool, and I'd probably buy some more Uncle Eddie's from Europe.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd probably buy Dewayne some gift certificates to his favorite masseuse.
I get you some pedicures.
Yep. But I would spend the rest of my life trying to figure out how I can give that away. And I think most of us listening to this are not multimillionaires. But it doesn't mean that you have to use finances as the ultimate way of giving back.
Yeah.
Dewayne and I give back this way. This is
Time.
how we give back. Our
Yeah.
time, our experiences, our wisdom. I believe that God has given us a gift of communication that allows us to be able to take experiences from other people and experiences from ourselves and share it in a way that grasps people and they understand it. And I'm not in a situation where I can give a whole lot of money to people, although I do sometimes. But I am in a situation where I can give you my time. And time is more valuable than money anyhow.
Yeah.
And Dewayne and I have given you guys our time now for 82 episodes over a 2-year period. That's our way of giving back. What's your way? Have you ever thought about it? Would it make you happy if you did? What about volunteering at a soup kitchen? What about mentoring someone at work? Whatever you choose, giving back is going to create a ripple effect. And that ripple effect will be of positivity. People who volunteer are 42% more likely to describe themselves in the category of very happy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When you lift others up, you rise with them. There was a time years ago, whenever I first started really getting into church, I didn't have a very good relationship with the Lord back then. And my relationship with the Lord has been iffy at best. I have good months and bad months. Maybe you guys feel the same. Back then, I was just kind of beginning with the church, and I wanted to be involved in the church somehow. I just didn't know how. And they put together a missions trip. It was a men's only mission trip to the DR. The DR is the Dominican Republic. I decided to go reluctantly. And I say reluctantly, not because I didn't want to go. Number one, it was $700 to go. Number two, you had to provide a whole bunch of giveaways, clothes, shirts, hats. You had to do some sort of like giveaway, right? We were going to go down there and give away clothes and candy and Bibles and shoes and pants and shirts to people who do not have those things. And at the time I was running a health club. So I put together this big, huge cardboard box. And for like a month and a half, I think 2 months, I collected donations from the people who went to my health club. And I had a whole bunch of donations. And we had these big, huge army bags. I mean, these things must have been like this long. And we probably had like 40 of them filled to the brim, filled with donations. And I told some of the more veteran missions guys who have done this frequently, I said, guys, I honestly feel uncomfortable going because I don't know the Bible. I can't recite any of the biblical things from the Bible. I don't know how I'm going to help, guys. So I'm just going to kind of hang back in the back and just kind of keep my mouth shut and just reserve. And I remember Eric told me, not Eric Carroll, but Eric Nori, friend of mine. He said, Jimmy, God's going to use you in a way that you never thought he was going to use you. And I don't know what that will be, but trust me, it's going to happen. And I ended up being one of the bigger hits of that of that vacation. My height and stature played a lot into it because all the kids wanted to hang around me and, play basketball with me and all these things. And I couldn't speak the language. Most of them spoke Spanish. I couldn't speak the language, but there was this radiation and this aura where I ended up being way more helpful than I ever thought that I could.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. The reason why Dewayne and I'll speak for myself, I already know this to be true from Dewayne, but the reason why I started or wanted to start this podcast is because this is my way. This is Dewayne's way of giving back to the world.
Mm-hmm.
This is our way. Michael, you know what Uncle Eddie's are.
He knows the story.
Do I have to go? I'll leave this office today, and I'll go to my closet right now, Mike. You can break out those Uncle Eddies. You know what Uncle Eddies are. I'll break out that white suit jacket too. I probably should have done it one last time for you. The last tip I want to give you guys in terms of how to make yourself the best you can be, number 10, is to be present and live with purpose. I want you guys to put the phone down. I want you to turn off the TV. I want you to actually engage with the people that are around you. Engage with your girl, engage with your wife, engage with your kids. Time is the one thing that you can never get back. And we're all getting older, guys.
Yeah, you're telling me.
So quick. Think about this. If the average man lives to 75 and the average woman lives to 78, then how many more years do you have? Have you guys thought about that? If for the guys listening, if the average man lives to 75, and for the ladies listening, if the average female lives to 78, how many more years you got left? Guys, that means that if you're 37 years old, you're middle-aged.
Yep.
That means that your life is already halfway over. Ladies, that means that if you're 39, you are middle-aged and your life is half over. Think about that as you allow the years to tick by. Don't just exist. Do the best you can live. Find out what drives you, what fulfills you, what you can do or what you can go after. And then go after it with everything you got. Because at the end of the day, a meaningful life is the only kind worth living. What is your mission? What do you want to accomplish? Dewayne and I, we've always kind of believed that a life without purpose is like a ship without a rudder. It just kind of drifts.
Right.
And people with a strong sense of purpose live up to 7 years longer on average.
Yeah.
You don't want to just be that depressed person who has no purpose because you're not going to live long. So those are the 10 of Dewayne and I's favorite lessons for the men out there to give you guys direction on how to be the man that you want to be, the man that the woman that you want, what she deserves in you. So the second half of the show, let's talk about that. How about this? Let's talk about what happens when you put in the work. What if you're the kind of stand-up man that is a good dude? What now? Because if you say, Jimmy, Dewayne, look, I'm ready, but a good woman isn't just going to come knocking at my door, I'd say you're absolutely right. She's not.
Nope.
What if you say, Jimmy, look, I'm that good. I'm that good dude, but I can't figure them out. I can't seem to find the right woman, the right one. Or I think she's a good pick, but then she ends up destroying my life. We've been there.
Yeah, guilty.
Dewayne, there's no good woman left. Well, then this is what we would say. Out of all the questions that I get, out of all the episodes that we've done, the most popular ones are the ones about how to pick and or find a good woman.
Yeah.
Questions about women are by far my biggest ask. So with that said, we're going to switch gears on how to make yourself into a great man, or from how to make yourself into a great man, and then turn to how to find a good woman. You know how we men constantly complain about how women having no clue to what men want. You know how we do that a lot? Well, many of you guys still don't know what women really want in a man either. Yeah. So many men not only don't or do not understand female behavior. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys the top 17 things you need to know about women. Some quick snapshot things. And these are the secrets that women don't want you to know. From a man who has studied women for a long time, I'm going to give you the best 17 pieces of advice that I can give you. Secrets that women do not want you to know. Hell, some of these things women don't even know about themselves.
Get your pen and paper out.
Yeah, because some of them, they're not very flattering. Some you will not be able to change about her at all. But if you want to find a good one,
yeah,
and you want to learn how to keep a relationship with that woman for years, then you're going to have to understand female behavior. So you better listen up. So
buckle up, Buttercup.
So let me pull back the curtain and reveal some secrets that women do not want you to know. And these insights are going to help you navigate relationships with clarity and confidence, and hopefully avoid manipulation, hopefully gain the upper hand. Because understanding...
Which number is don't grab your wife's panties and put them on a live broadcast?
That's number one.
Number one, okay. I just want to make sure I didn't know where that fell. Okay.
Simple one.
Okay.
So these are the top 17 things, top 17 secrets that I came up with that women don't want you to know. Number one, validation, gentlemen, is their currency. Most women, whether they admit it or not, subconsciously seek validation from men to feel good about themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Compliments, attention, and admiration boost their egos. Be aware of this dynamic. Do not give validation freely unless she's earned it.
Right.
If you give a woman too much validation and you treat her like a celebrity, she will treat you like a fan. Number two, every woman has had a first love. And that love she gave her soul to. That guy, her first love, he's a part of her forever, whether she admits it or not. That man set the standard for how she sees love and relationships. And this isn't said to make you guys jealous. It's not. It's about understanding her emotional blueprint and who's put that impression on her.
Would you say that, because a lot of the issues, like, if you have a woman that is completely out of touch, whacked out, they did not have a good relationship with their dad, would you say that kind of falls in line with that, the first love should be their father? I mean, that should be the one there, because he should be teaching her all those good things. And if she did not have a good relationship with her dad, she's not going to know, how to do it, and she's going to be all over the place.
Yes. A girl's first love should be her dad. And going back to what I said, her first love, whether that was her dad, or if she grew up in a relationship where her dad didn't give a shit, her dad wasn't there for whatever reason, then it'll be some other guy, and that guy would have imprinted himself on her. But if she was lucky enough, if you're lucky enough to find a woman who was raised by a good father, then that man, her father in this case, set the standard for how she sees love in relationships.
True. Yeah.
Number three, women read you like a book.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
Women have an uncanny ability to gauge your confidence through your body language, the way that you stand, the way that you walk,
Oh yeah.
And the way that you talk will speak volumes. If you lack confidence, a woman will see it instantly. You need to work on your self-assurance. It's far more attractive than anything that you can wear. Trust me, men.
Right.
That is why Dewayne and I have been teaching you to be the best version of yourself, because female behavior that we're talking about right now, she's going to see it. You won't be able to hide it from her. As much as you try, as much as I've tried, women will see through you. So you need to make sure that you're a true and you're genuine, because you will only be able to fake her for so long.
Right.
Number 4, women, no matter what they say, no matter how, this is what we were talking about an hour ago. No matter if she says you can cry, if she says you can be emotional,
Abort.
if she says share your feelings, tell me your deepest, darkest secrets. Just be careful. Just be careful, because number 4 is that women crave a strong man. No
So they can
matter,
destroy them.
What's that?
So they can destroy them.
They'll certainly try to destroy them.
Oh yeah, sure. No, they're like velociraptors, always testing.
No matter how independent women are, no matter how independent women continue to be,
or claim to be,
no matter how mature they seem, deep down, every woman is searching for a man who can handle her emotional highs and lows.
Yep.
She wants someone who can nurture the little girl inside of her while at the same time still being her rock.
Yep.
That's the truth, guys. Hold on one second.
That's what your dads, that's what, for the guys, that's what they need to learn or be taught. And unfortunately, with what's happened with custody and all that over the decades, it's been lost on a lot of men. Is they have to understand that women are they want a strong man, but they're always going to test him. I mean, go back to Genesis, read the first parts of Genesis as many times as you need to understand it. Actually, I talked about it at length, I think like a year ago, about how to tie those two things in. But yeah, your girl she's like, and when I say a velociraptor, I know a lot of people are like, what the hell are you talking about? They're always testing the boundaries. They're always trying to see, because, we joked a few moments ago about how, they want a strong man so they can destroy them. That's part of their nature. And men need to be like, no, they need to be the stoic rock. But they also need to understand and work with with how they operate. And again, once you get there, it's a beautiful thing. But if you can't rise to the challenge to handle that, and again, I gotta say this, sorry, if you're a bitchy broad that is equating being a bitch with being strong and independent and all that stuff, you're wrong. You need to go look that up in the dictionary. That's not a strong woman.
Right.
Like my wife, Brandy, is a strong woman, and a lot of these goofy broads would look at her and go, well, no, she's a very strong woman. We have, that respect for each other, and, she states her position. We, talk back and forth. We handle stuff like adults. Being a bitchy, argumentative, whiny broad does not make you strong. I'm sorry, I had to get that out. I had to get that on. It was some kind of kicking in there. And unfortunately, so many women don't get that. They think because they're, they equate the word strong with being a bitch. Like they submissive with being a doormat.
They think that strength with dominance.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
and so they want to be a boss bitch.
Yeah, no, you come off like a moron. But anyway, yeah, I'm sorry, I had to get that out. That was kind of,
you're right. It's well said.
Down, yeah.
What we're talking about right now, guys, is female behavior. Whether it's good and you like to hear it, or whether it's bad and you don't want to hear it. Whether women agree with it or whether women do not agree with it. It doesn't matter. This is their
behavior. Yeah.
This is their behavior and
their programming.
And some of it you need to know. Well, you need to know them all, because you need to avoid some of these things, or you need to learn how to live with some of these things.
Right.
Number 5, the 5th secret that women don't want you to know is mixed feelings about feelings. Here's what I mean by that. Women get upset when men don't share their feelings. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
But rarely share their own true emotions. Instead, They expect you to read between the lines.
Right.
You have to pay attention, but don't let this emotional inconsistency drive you crazy like it has me. It is one of the biggest pet peeves. I hate it when my chick makes me guess what she wants or needs from me. I hate it.
Yeah. Spell it out.
Yeah. Number 6, your natural scent matters. Smell. Swear to God, I hear it all the time from women. Your smell, gentlemen, is a powerful primer trigger for her attraction. Women love distant scents, especially when you've been active or sweating. That hug is not just for affection. She's picking up on your natural pheromones.
Mm-hmm.
Women love watching men work, watching them get a little sweaty. I'm not talking about dripping sweat on the woman. I'm just talking about your natural.
Sometimes
You gotta
get down.
But women do pick up on your natural pheromones. Women have a very enhanced sense of the senses: touch, taste, smell, sight, sound.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 1.4, 1.25 times what we have.
Yeah.
Men, for whatever reason, are nose blind to a lot of like smells, but women can smell that shit from miles. It's crazy. It's so just know.
So Dutch ovens are bad.
It's bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Check. I'm gonna have to write that down because I've noticed that Brandy doesn't want to spend as much time to me when I've had chili or something. Okay, all right, makes sense. It's all coming together now for me. I'm glad we had this show.
Poor Brandy. Number 7. You're gonna hate me for this.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Why stop now?
It's our last episode, so I don't give a shit.
What's going to happen?
That's just been canceled.
Yeah.
Guys already know this one. Number 7. Women lie about their body count.
What?
This is one of the most common unspoken truths that we don't talk about. Women understand. They understand how their body count affects how men perceive them. So they will downplay it or lie about it altogether.
Oh, yeah.
Don't take their words at face value. Don't even bother asking her what it is because I just said it. They're going to lie about it anyhow.
Yeah.
So her actions and her patterns will reveal more than her words will. Women are very good at lying and they're very good at manipulating. I know that's not comfortable, popular to say,
right?
Because men are supposed to be the liars. Give me a please, no. I can do a whole podcast how that is not true. They're going to lie about it, so don't even bother asking. Watch her actions, listen to how she talks, how she acts, because her actions and patterns reveal more.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8, social media is their spy tool. If a woman likes you guys, if she likes you, trust me, she's already stalked your social media.
They're better than the FBI. I mean, we need to replace the entire FBI with chicks because they are like.
Listen, Elon Musk, as he's doing all this Fed changing, he needs to just hire all women for Homeland Security.
Oh, yeah.
All women should be on Homeland Security because she's already stalked your social media. She knows who you've interacted with. She knows your interests. She even knows about your past relationship. She's already done it. Stay sharp, guys.
Servers are syncing up. And I mean, Brandy a couple weeks ago was like, getting some information and she's like showing me high res pictures and shit. And I'm like, damn, girl, it's crazy.
So if you're single, guys, and you're looking for a good woman, be intentional with your online presence because your online presence will make a difference. Number 9, the 9th secret that women don't want you to know is that most women are more unpopular shit. It's true, man. This is true right here. Number 9.
Yeah.
Number 9 is most women are mentally bisexual. They are, man. Women may not act on it. They may never act on it. But many have entertained thoughts about being with the same gender. Almost every woman has. This is a psychological curiosity that a lot of men do not realize. It's not something to dwell on. It's not a huge, big deal. But guys, just understand that it exists. I'm trying to teach you how women think.
So they have multiple personalities and they're bisexual? Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Not all of them are going to act on it, but they're
Right.
all on
Okay.
it. Number 10, no surprise to men. Most men know this one. Number 10 is public bathrooms are their sanctuaries. A woman's bathroom, a woman's restroom is far more luxurious than men's restrooms are, because that's where they refresh and gossip. That's where they strategize and plan. Do not underestimate, guys, the power of the woman's restroom as their private headquarters. Okay.
That's where they went to fart when they were like on a date with you. You know, they have to hold it all in.
If a woman takes another woman into the bathroom, they are strategizing and talking about you.
Yeah.
Trust it. Number 11, women love playful teasing. Teasing women in a light, confident way makes them laugh. It builds attraction. If she gets upset, making up with affection like kisses and hugs usually works way better than a long-winded apology.
Yeah.
So I know guys like to talk a lot, plead their case, but light, playful, teasing, touch, and affection, kisses, hugs, it usually goes further than your words and apologies do. Number 12, they show interest indirectly. Okay, so for the guys who are single, pay attention to this. A woman who likes you won't outright admit it. Instead, what she's going to do is she's going to find excuses to talk to you daily or ask you random questions or check if you've eaten. These are the subtle signs of interest.
Okay.
Women are not like men. They want to be pursued. In the olden days, a lady would walk by you and drop what? Her handkerchief.
Handkerchief.
Right? Excuse me, ma'am, but it appears you have dropped this. You think she really dropped that on accident? Grandpa knew better. Grandma dropped that shit on purpose. She was probably in the bathroom with second grandma, strategizing how she's going to get you to pay attention to her because you are clueless at the bar, not even paying attention to her. So she walks by and maybe she bumps your chair. Oh, excuse me, I apologize. Maybe she drops her handkerchief. It doesn't happen much in today's world, the handkerchief that is, but women will do something to put themselves in front of you, but they won't do it to where it's too obvious.
Put their hair in a ponytail. You know,
perfect. Number 13, and this one is it's not easy for every guy, but man, if you're a dude and you master this, you will not have problems with women because women love it, and that is humor wins. Women love it when you mimic something that they've said in a funny way. They love it when it's endearing and it makes them laugh uncontrollably. Mastering humor, mastering this lighthearted playfulness that you do back and forth is an absolute game changer to attracting and acquiring women. I have seen so many times in my life dudes who have no business dating a girl that fine. Dudes who have attracted in a
You're looking at Exhibit A right here, by the way. I mean,
Exhibit A right
I
here.
mean, this got Brandy.
Dudes who have no business.
I had no business bagging her.
Freaking hot. But he makes her laugh. Women, we've all said it. And guys, we usually say it in a derogatory way when we say women are slaves of their emotions. Well, they are.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that they're slaves to only the bad ones. They're slaves to the good emotions as well. They love to feel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, women love the Gossip Girl shows and the
Mean Girls and all that fun stuff. Yeah.
They love it. Why? Because it allows them to feel different emotions. Betrayal and lust and laughter and watching someone else be courted. There's a roller coaster. And the best dramas out there are the ones that are successful, taking the viewers on an emotional roller coaster.
Right. Yeah.
Whenever you watch a horror film and there's some thumping up in the attic, and you're like, what? What's that? Maybe I should go and investigate.
Yeah.
And you pull the ladder down and you're climbing up the ladder and you're getting ready to peek around to see what is there. What scares us the most is not the monster waiting for us. It's the anticipation,
right,
and the feeling that as soon as you put your head out there, as soon as you open the door, that you're going to be attacked by some creature. It's the anticipation.
Yeah.
That's why the crescendo of the music and the buildup of him walking up the stairs or her walking up the stairs is a lot of times more scary than the actual event.
Hmm.
So understand that if women are slaves to emotions, that it's the emotions on the good and the bad.
Right.
If you can tell good stories, be charming, especially make her laugh. Guys who are 3s and 4s on a scale of 1 to 10 can pull 7s and 8s if they're good enough to do it. So humor. Number 14 out of the 17 things women don't want you to know, the secrets that they keep. Number 14, when they're sad, guys, listen, when they're sad, they need comfort and not solutions. I have made this mistake so many times. Many of you have made this mistake so many times.
Yeah.
If she's upset, don't rush to fix the problem. Try, it's illogical for us to do this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Try to offer a warm embrace and listen instead of trying to fix it.
They want you to listen. They want you to fix
hard,
it.
Man.
I know. Yeah, because we want to men fix shit. That's what we do. And they don't want you to fix it. They want you to, listen and cry along with them. It's the weirdest thing. But yeah, I mean, it brings you the same way. I mean, she'll come home pissed off about whatever, or something's bothering her or whatever. And I learned, took me a while, but instead of going, well, let me go kick their ass, or let's do this, or let's figure this part out. Oh, honey, that really sucks.
Yeah.
That took care of it. I don't get it.
This is a true story. Do you know why so many women get therapy and so few?
Is that a loaded question? They're crazy.
I walked right into that one.
I know, they're all nuts. Okay.
The reason why so many women get therapy and so few men get therapy is not because men don't need it, women need it.
Right.
We're all kind of effed up in our own way, right?
Right, yeah.
This is the reason, because men don't find it helpful.
Oh, yeah.
That's why. That's the biggest reason. Because men want a problem to be fixed. They need the idea, the solution, the tell me what I should do. Should I do this or should I do this? Right. Should I take this job or should I take this job? Should I move here or move there? Should I leave her or keep her? They want solutions, whereas women don't necessarily want you to fix their problems.
Right.
They want you to listen to their issues.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Freud. I'm not sure. Therapy back in the 1800s and beyond used to be therapist fixing. And he writes that one day he has a female client, true story. She comes in, shares her problems. He starts talking and giving her ways that she can fix the problem. Makes perfect sense to me. She shuts him down, claps back on him, and says, hey, can you just stop talking? I just want you to listen to what I'm saying. I want to share. I want to get this out. And he basically went, okay.
All right.
Really?
$200 an hour is $200 an hour.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're paying me the same, right?
All right.
And for the rest of the session, she talks the entire time, Dewayne.
You're not surprised me by a woman talking nonstop about nothing.
It's true.
This is not new information. So go ahead.
At the end of the therapy session, she says to him, isn't it? It's documented. That's what he said. Wow, that really helped. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much for listening to me. I feel so much better. And he had an epiphany where he goes,
I didn't do shit.
And from that point on, it started to change the way that therapy ever has been forever. Now, if you go to therapy, like some of you have, you might know someone or you've gone through it myself. I've personally had counseling sessions to make sure that I'm getting that checkup from the neck up. And they ask you, well, how do you feel? How do you feel about it? Hey, doc, what should I do about this or that? Well, what do you think you should do? How do you feel about it? What's best about this? What's best about that? And like Dewayne mentions before, they kind of use the Socratic method. They answer a question with a question. Mm-hmm. And because they want you to come up with the answer, they want you to have the epiphany, and hopes that at the end that you go, you know, I feel so much better. Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
And so that was very effective for females, but it's not as effective for men. And that's the main reason why most men don't see therapy as helpful.
Right.
So,
well, what's great about it is you don't even have to listen to her. You can just every like 5 minutes, just have it on an internal clock to say, wow, that's bad. What do you think about it? You don't have to listen to anything. Just let them drone on and on and on. It's good.
So that being said, guys, next time they're sad and they need comfort, try to not find a solution to the problem. If you know she's upset, don't rush to fix it. Try to offer her a hug, understanding, emotional support, and you'll likely get way further than trying to fix her problem. Number 15, the 15th secret that women don't want you to know, and men, we need to do better, is that we need to be better at being more straightforward about your intentions.
Oh, yeah.
Women really do respect directness. If your goal is intimacy, don't dance around it. Be honest about what you want from her, but do so with confidence and do so with tact. Clarity saves everybody time.
Yeah.
A lot of guys think, and I understand the logic, they'll see a woman and they'll go, you know what? She's not my type. She's not wife material. I don't want to put myself with her long term. I told you about the 5 boxes that men put women in. And let's say for whatever reason, he's decided, hey,
she's a plaything.
She's a plaything, right? Yeah. Guys think that if they tell a woman that, hey, he just wants to have fun and not be too serious, that she'll say, absolutely not. And there's truth to it. Not saying there's not. There's the truth to it. So what guys will do is they will lie about their intentions with her in order to smash, when the entire time she had no chance of being in a relationship with him. She only hoped that he was. The truth is this, guys. If you call yourself an honorable man, then lying is not what makes you honorable. Also, the truth is that if you come out and you're honest and straightforward with you, yes, the majority of them will say, well, thank you, I'm not looking for a hookup, or thank you, that's not what I want, and might move on down the road. Yes, you're right. But
Yeah.
some of them will literally look in your eye and go, yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Let's throw it down.
I'm okay. So just be honest about your intentions with her. Because women are very good at figuring out your lies. And trust me when I say this, once you are caught in a lie with a woman, you're done. There's no coming back from it. A lot of women out there are they draw a bold black line. And if you lie about anything, you're inconsistent about anything, she's done. I'll tell you a quick story real fast. My dating profile said that
I remember this one.
Remember this one?
I remember this one.
My dating profile said that I was in this profession, because whenever I created the dating profile, that's what I did for a living.
Right.
A few months later, I changed professions and was doing something else. And the second thing I was doing was making more money than the first thing that was on my profile. I was making more money.
Yeah, Fourth Wish, frontman, and then yeah.
And in conversation on a date with this woman, I had said, yeah, well, when I go to work, here's what I do. And she goes, well, hold on. I thought you said that you run medical clinics. And I said, oh, no, I did. But I just recently took another position. And she goes, well, that's not what your profile says. And I said, oh, I must have forgot to change it. I wasn't lying. I could show W-2s if this woman needs to.
Right.
To show that's exactly what I did. But I forgot to update my dating profile job description. Sorry.
Yeah.
I also didn't update LinkedIn either, so freaking sue me. This woman decided to end our dating because she thought that I was lying to her.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a lie. It was just a misslip.
Yeah.
I just forgot to update the profile. And honestly, who kind of cares? It wasn't that big of a deal. But women are so used to this is my opinion on why this happened. Women are so used to being lied to that they have no leeway, no wiggle room. Her thought process was, I don't know if I trust you. I don't know if I believe you. And if I can't believe you about this, then what else are you hiding? That's their thought process.
Yeah.
So be straightforward with your intentions. Number 16, they smell your, this is true. I have, this is weird, but it's true. It's not too weird. It's kind of, I guess it's kind of cute in its own way, but I put it on the list because women have told me they do this. Guys, did you know that women actually smell your clothes when they're in love with you?
Brandy stopped doing that. Yeah, she smelled my pants and went, whoa, dude.
Yeah. In the beginning, especially, not necessarily after a few years, but in the beginning.
Yeah, in the beginning, yeah.
When the woman's in love with you, she'll actually smell your clothes. And I know it kind of sounds strange, but it's true. Women in love find comfort in your scent. It's like their way of feeling closer to you, even when you're not around. I've had women who have purposely taken an article of my clothes and kept it without my permission so that way they could be
closer. I said I was going to return that to you.
Yeah, well, you haven't.
Okay.
And I want it back to Dewayne.
Okay. All right, fine.
And the 17th thing, the last thing I have for you guys, and it goes back to one we talked about before. A woman watching a man sweat is a turn on. And some guys don't realize that. Seeing you fresh from exercise with a little sweat on your face is surprisingly attractive to a lot of women. And I never really realized that.
Right.
According to women, it symbolizes vitality, strength, masculinity. Women love dudes who work.
Go figure. Yeah.
You ever seen the comment section of a small video where a man's chopping wood? If that dude is halfway decent looking, read the comments.
Yeah.
Watch what women are saying.
Oh yeah.
I mean, these women are going nuts for these guys. So, all that being said, what's the takeaway, guys? What's the takeaway on all this? The takeaway is this: women are more complex than they let on, but that's not a bad thing. It's an opportunity for you to understand them on a deeper level, guys. However, don't let these truths manipulate you into simping or over investing in someone who doesn't deserve it. Okay, so I want to make that clear. Guys, I want you to keep your standards high. I want you to stay sharp, and I always want you to play the game with your eyes wide open. This is why I've tried to share with you over the last 2 years all these tips. Now, with all that being said, it would be remiss for me to end the show teaching guys the secrets of women without helping my ladies understand some secrets that guys keep. So it's time for the ladies right now. I'm going to quickly help the ladies and share with the ladies some secrets that guys don't necessarily want you to know about them. So ladies, listen up, because I've got something for you too. I don't want to leave you out. So I'm going to answer one, and I was just talking about this yesterday. I'm going to answer one of the most frequently asked questions about men for women. And that question is, Jimmy, why don't men want to commit any longer? It's the number one question that I get from women about men. Number one question from men is, Jimmy, how do I acquire women? Number one question from women, Jimmy, why don't men want to commit? It's the number one most asked question I get from women. And although the answer could be its own podcast, I'm gonna give all the women out there who are listening the secret that men don't want you to know about why we don't commit to you. Here is the cold, hard truth of why men marry and why they don't. Ladies, as much as you think so, it's not about sex. And it's not even about love. The reason why men won't commit to you, the reason why men won't marry you, it's about stability. Let me explain. A man can love a woman deeply and never marry her.
Right.
He can sleep with her for years and walk away.
Yep.
But the moment he finds a woman who brings stability to his life, that woman will become his wife. That's how men think. Men do not fantasize about weddings. They don't fantasize about dresses, tuxedos, or color schemes.
Yeah.
They don't care about the frills and the fairy tales that women dream of. They don't give a shit. When a man considers a woman for marriage, his focus is very clear.
Listen up.
Can a woman build me a home? Can she bring me peace? Can she help me create a foundation I can trust and lean on? Because if the answer is no, he will keep it moving.
Yep.
No matter how much he loves her, no matter how good the sex is, no matter how much he desires her, good men understand this. Good men understand the next few things I'm about to tell you, and that is this. They understand that women have an incredible ability to receive, nurture, and multiply. Good men understand that a good woman has the ability that if you give her groceries, she'll give you a meal. If you give her money, she'll give you a peaceful, organized home. If you give her a house, she'll make it into a home. If you bring her a group of people, she gives you a family. If you give her your seed, she will give you children. But if all she brings to you is disrespect or chaos, she will turn your life into a living hell. And men understand that far too well.
Yep.
Ladies, this is the reason why a man can spend years with one woman and then turn around and marry another woman within months.
Yeah.
It's not impulsive. That's not why we do it. It's strategic. Respect is the foundation of stability. A woman who respects her man will bring out the best in him. Without respect, there is nothing to build on. There is no peace. There is no partnership. There is no future. So men, do not let lust or fleeting emotions dictate your decisions. Some of you have done it and you look where it's gotten you. Look where, guys, think back on that fine ass chick with the curves all in the right spots and the weight that fell in all the right places and the bomb ass sex you had. Your lust, your fleeting emotions allowed you to make a really bad mistake.
And cost you most of your shit.
The smart men look for the woman who brings order, calm, and respect into your life. That's the one worth building a legacy with. And ladies, if you want to be a wife, focus less on romance and more on providing stability, because stability is king and respect is its foundation. It's not about how well you rock his world. It's about the respect and stability that your presence brings that man as he's trying to also help create a family and a future. Dewayne, thoughts?
Yeah, and what's sad is I've talked to a lot of women that those things have been said, and they say, and they have no freaking clue, and they'll it's one of those they'll never get it. You know, they'll say, "Oh, I'm respectful," then yell or put down their boyfriend, or they'll do that on the boss bitch. It's like that's the exact opposite of what the man's looking for, and they want to get married, and that's their goal, and I get the reasons why. And the guy's like, I'll never do it because of these things. I'll never get the respect I deserve. I'll never get, an equal partner. This person is always argumentative. They blow all the money. I mean, all those things that we've talked about, who knows how many times. And they just don't get, they don't get it. They give you that dog-eared, like, what are you talking about? And I don't know how, I haven't been able to dumb it down, which I'm sure will offend those people that still don't understand what all those other things mean, but I've dumbed it down so much. I'm like, I don't know how else to explain it to them. And I was not looking for the submissiveness that you're attributing to the word submissive. They're looking for respect, examples, not raising your voice, making the house a home, being there with your partner, having, thinking of being able to talk with somebody and they have a clue of what's going on in the world. They're wanting to build you guys' empire. Yeah. Hey, in 5, 10, 15 years, I want to be, here. Are you going to build that with me? And the sad fact is the majority of women they don't want to do it. And it's even worse. They don't even have a clue of what that even means. And that's a shame, and all we can do is warn the guys that look for these things. If you see certain red flags, head for the hills. Doesn't matter if the sex, this, all these other things are great. If you don't have those core things, it's never going to work out in the long run.
I hope this helps, guys. Ladies, I hope it helps you as well, because I truly want all to be happy. And over the past 82 episodes, over the past 2 years, I've done the very best. Dewayne has done the very best that we can to really help you get ahead, help you understand, help you put you in the pole position and put you in a situation where you can win. And I really hope that we've been able to do that. I'm sorry that all great things come to an end. We're still going to be around. You'll still see us from time to time. Before we go to final thoughts, I would like to personally take this time to thank the viewers and the watchers who have been with us for so many months. Thank you to Michael Keller. Thank you to Joy. Thank you to Renee. Thank you to Jeremy B. Thank you to General Miller, Father X. I know that I'm leaving out so many other people.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
That may not be watching right now, but you guys mean a lot to us. I appreciate your support. I appreciate the times you agree and disagree. I appreciate your thoughts and your comments and your just being there. You're like a family. But I don't thank you as much as I thank Dewayne. Dewayne, you are dependable. You are intelligent. You're wise. You're a good stand-up dude. And you have been there since day one. You don't take a show off. You've never said, hey, I'm not feeling good. I mean, you've pulled and dragged your sick, hurting ass up them stairs and been on with me since the beginning. There's been times where you could barely get up them stairs because your back or your hips were hurting, and you've still been there since day one. And I want you to know that I really appreciate your dedication and your discipline, your wisdom, and also your friendship. We have become pretty close and pretty good friends over the last 2 years. And you'll be a friend of mine for many, many years to come. And I just want to, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for all your dedication that you've done, because this show would not be the same without you, Dewayne. So thank you.
I'm going to cry. Still kept my man card. You didn't. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, buddy. I really mean it. You've helped me check off something on my bucket list. I would have never thought that I would ever have a chance to do a podcast. And we've done it live.
Yeah.
We've been talking for 2 hours and 9 minutes and 6 seconds.
Yeah.
And then week after week after week, we come on here across the world and think about what we've done. I can't think of a time that we've ever fumbled our words so bad to where we go, oh my God, that episode was a disaster. We've never had a time where we've had awkward silence or we said something stupid. The amount of talent that you have to be able to predict where I'm going with my teachings. Dewayne doesn't even know sometimes what I'm teaching on.
Oh, yeah.
He just shows up and he's there to be the best co-pilot to keep this thing going, throw in his humor to make it seamless. And you've done such a great job doing that. I mean, I've often bragged about our connection and how well we work together. And whenever I invite people on as guests to the show, I tell them, just follow Dewayne's lead. Dewayne's got this. I'm going to talk here, so I'm going to probably do this. And then, you know, when Dewayne knows when I'm going to end my sentence, like Dewayne knows when I'm talking, and then right when I'm about to end. And when I go back and look at old episodes, I'll talk for like a minute and a half straight, 2 or 3 minutes straight. And then right when I'm done with talking, you pick it up like you pick it up and so quickly that you would have thought that I had written it out and you were writing and following along,
Yeah.
knew when I was ending. That's how good and in tune we are. And that takes talent, dude. And I just want to say,
I appreciate it.
But you are a very talented person. Dewayne has a channel called Pissed Off Parent. Dewayne does a podcast there.
Yep.
He has a website. He has an app. So all the guys out there who need help with a divorce or want statistics on relationships and all kinds of other things, you can't get a better source than Pissed Off Parent. If any of you guys need Dewayne or myself, you could always reach out to us. My personal email address is jimmysmith300@gmail. You can reach me that way. You can go to our Instagram or Facebook accounts, send us private messages, and we'll be doing the best we can to get back with you and help you out. I guess we'll do final thoughts one final time.
Yep. Final thoughts.
All right, let's do it one last time. So as we wrap up, I want you guys to remember one thing. Life isn't about chasing perfection. So don't try to do that. It's about showing up. It's about doing your best. It's about having the guts to laugh when things don't go as planned. Don't give up. This world would not be a better place if you weren't in it. So stop thinking that it will, because you're wrong. You are enough. You deserve to be loved and you are needed. In case you're wondering, yes, it is worth it. To all of you out there, we need you. To the people out there wondering if they've done enough, I'm here to say that I'm proud of you. You matter. You always have mattered. Don't give up. Don't stop fighting. I know life has been tough for you. For some of you, I know it's been tough for you. Look at me when I say this. I truly, truly hope that you heal from all the things you've been through. But more importantly, I hope that you heal from all the things that you don't talk about. Folks, it's been an honor. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing in laughs. Thank you for learning with us. Until the next time, I want you guys to keep it strong, keep it real, keep it big. And to all of you out there, whether you've been with us for just one episode or if you've been with us since the beginning, thank you. Thank you for letting us be a part of your lives. Thank you for the laughs. Thank you for the stories. And thank you for the support. This show has been a celebration of everything that makes life worth living. And it would not have been the same without you guys. I really hope that I see you guys again. Until then, take care. This is Dewayne Ward and Jimmy Smith signing off one last time. Thank you for watching The Big Show. We'll see you guys soon.